Life isn't perfect, and neither are we.
Nope. But we know how to face our fears
And have some fun.
and talk about all the messiest things of life.
Like the messiest things.
Get connected to yourself, get connected to others, and get connected to the life right in front of you.
This is The Connected Life with Justin and Abby.
That's me.
That's you.
And you.
I had the most wonderful compliment on YouTube the other day.
Oh.
Yeah.
Was it that somebody loved your hairstyle so much?
They said, guys, this was a wonderful episode.
Mm-hmm.
If I didn't have to waste all my time wading through the beginning part of it.
That's funny.
Yeah. So for them,
We made this the part they could wade through.
yeah, we're going to talk for the next 30 minutes about nothing.
It's not even true. It's not even true.
We have a good podcast today. We're going to end up diving into a little something called Signs You Should Lock It Down.
Ooh.
So some of you might not have locked it down. What does lock it down mean? Well, it means like, hey, I'm going to be with you
forever.
for a while.
Whatever the next level of commitment is for a while.
We're going to go deeper.
I'm going to stop dating other people.
Mhm.
You know, any kind of,
I'm going to marry you.
yeah, any of the commitment levels.
Mhm.
These are like, I am constantly telling people when they're dating, there should be a map that they have of things to look for to help them decide if this person is a good life decision.
Yeah, good fit.
Mm-hmm.
I know that some people are probably going to be like, oh, I'm already with my forever person.
Mhm.
Well, first off,
Are you?
are you?
I'm just kidding.
maybe
I'm
you
kidding.
won't be in the next few years.
Justin.
And you need some pointers.
Justin.
But here's the deal.
So bad.
You might be with your forever person right now
Mm-hmm.
as you're listening. And you might be like, that's not for me. But it might be because you might actually listen to this conversation and say, hey, the things that would make us supposedly want to lock it down aren't inside of our relationship. How do we
How do
develop
we-
that?
Yeah. Or
Can
am
we?
I being these
Or
green
am I
flags?
being these? Yeah.
Am I showing up like this for my partner?
For them to want to stay.
Mm-hmm. Well, the goal isn't to try to keep someone from leaving, but the
You're
goal
not
is
going anywhere, Abby.
but the goal is to be like our best self so that we are creating an environment that a relationship can thrive in.
Yeah.
There are things that I did that did not create an environment for our relationship to thrive in.
That you didn't feel like you set it up for success?
Yeah.
Do you want to point any of that out?
Well, I mean, there's so many to list. I wouldn't even know.
I
to
know.
start.
It's just
It's such a long list.
And I don't think you should have to. I could list my two faults because it's much shorter.
That's funny.
Anyways.
I will say that there were several things when I was dating you that I looked for that made me choose you that I feel like that was a great compass. That ended up paying off as much as I thought it would pay off.
Not anymore, but as much.
What? It paid off way more than I thought it would.
Oh, okay.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah,
No, I'm saying like there were things that when I was single, I was like, I think this is going to matter. And it ended up mattering way more than I had any idea.
That's really cool.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm like the litmus test for
There
good
were some
partnership.
things that I didn't realize mattered that really would have mattered.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
And you would not have married me.
No.
I get it.
Mm-hmm.
I've had the same feeling.
I hate doing topics kind of like this because I don't want people to second guess their choices.
Yeah.
I think it's more, but it is, we should be having self-worth and we should be having a guide that is helping us say, I want to be thriving. And here's my invitation. If you need to, you send this to your person you're dating, the person you're married to, the person you're whatever. And this is an invitation to have a conversation about areas that you want your relationship to grow in.
I think that for me, when I was dating, I didn't feel like I could get input on like clarity on why I should be with you. No, like, you know, when you're looking for wisdom.
Yeah.
You're looking for wisdom in a
Mhm.
relationship, and you're like, I don't know, do we have enough chemistry? Does it feel electric enough? Will this go? And like,
Right.
there's a lot of questions, and also a lot of those questions are shallow. Oftentimes, it's not the deeper questions
Mhm.
that help us navigate. Is this the right fit? Because the truth is we can get ourselves relationally entangled because of, certain chemistry that we have with another person.
Oh,
But chemistry doesn't mean
100%.
that that's a good idea for a
Oh,
long-term lock it down
I have
relationship.
chemistry with the best explosive relationships.
Mhm.
Like I can find any friendship that could be toxic and I can love it.
Yeah, totally.
Uh-huh.
And so I think that that's something that like I know that it would have meant the world to me if I had at least it doesn't even have to be a complete list or
No.
a perfect list, but if there was
A
something to say,
compass.
here's a bit of a compass, and I could go, okay, that's at least something to look at. That's helping me readjust how I'm approaching this relationship. So I think that's why I think this is a really good conversation.
I think that there's some assumptions that we need to start this conversation with.
Oh.
And the assumptions is what helped me make a list when I was trying to figure out marriage. And here are the assumptions I had. There are going to be hard times. There are going to be times that I'm attracted to my spouse and times that I'm less attracted to my spouse. We are going to hurt each other. We are going to have to do conflict. Like all of those things are assumptions.
Are they correct assumptions?
Yes. 100%. You have to and I think without accepting what a long-term relationship is, a long-term relationship is when you are with somebody when they're their best and when they're their worst. You are with them through the highs and the lows. You're with them when they're in their stress responses and they're freaking out. When you're with them when they are flying and sailing and winning awards. You get all of that. But to have an accurate idea of what you need, you have to think through things like, is this somebody that I could trust if I got really sick? Is this somebody that I would want being with me in a scenario like that? Is this somebody that the way they do, because we will have conflict. You will have conflict with whoever you are with about a multitude of things. Is that somebody that you can have healthy and non-toxic conflict with? Those are really important things. And so without the assumptions of what is a long-term relationship going to consist of, you can't think through what you're going to need to do it well.
Yeah. I think that a lot of people want to live in denial about some of the things that you brought up there.
Mm-hmm.
And embracing that, like, all right, part of the human experience is these assumptions.
Mm-hmm.
You will experience that person in their worst seasons and their worst times. Do they have, or do you have, do they or you have components that are built in that are healthily compatible for that?
Mm-hmm. I'm going to start with one that is not on our list even at all, which is wild. But I was thinking this is one of the sexiest things about you. It's your grit.
My grit.
You have grit, which means you're emotionally resilient. When hard things happen, you're like, we're going to find a way through this. And I've watched you when hard things happen, there's a couple things you do. You have an external sense of hope. Like you have a relationship with God, and everybody can find different things that inspire them, but you keep your life inspiration, your hope inspiration strong. I think about when I was the sickest and you had so much fear about me dying, you were like, nah, I'm going to go to a sense of hope. I'm going to dig my own well of hope for my life so that I don't drown with Abby in this situation. And you were like, let's find a doctor. Let's do let's find a pathway. When you didn't have a job and you needed one, you took a minimum wage job to take care of us and you worked hard at it and you were great at it. In any situation, like you have that ability when life is hard, you're like, I'm not going to quit life. And I think that is a very sexy quality, and it makes for a good partner because life is going to be hard.
Yeah.
And in all fairness, there's been times you've tagged out and there's been times I've tagged out.
Yeah, totally.
So grit doesn't mean you're always on, always performing, always strong. but it does mean that there's like an inner resilience
I was
that
gonna
is
say
going to
that.
keep pushing.
Yeah. I was going to say there's an underlying resilience that's woven in.
Mhm.
And resilience is something that I believe that we can build if we're
Mhm.
willing to
Yes.
decide I want to face tough things. I
Yes.
want to learn how to be powerful. I want to learn how to overcome.
Mhm.
Even like somebody might be listening to this and be like, I have no grit or resilience
Yeah.
whatsoever. And I'm like, yeah, but you can build that in if
Absolutely.
you want to, right?
Psychologically, they call it emotional distress tolerance,
Yeah.
which means I can face emotional distress and I can learn to tolerate it. And
Yeah.
so you actually recognize that challenge actually grows your capacity and resiliency. You have all these people right now who are talking about regulating your nervous system and making sure that you're getting all the care and time that you need. And so you have all these people like, I'm too stressed to do that. I'm so sorry I can't do that. And I love boundaries. So that is important to say no to things. And if we try to avoid all stress,
Yeah.
we will actually become more stressed. So they say that you are more powerful if you have the concept of building emotional distress tolerance, which is I face hard things and I find that there's more in me than I was aware of. And I consciously look for how I overcome. And I see, even if it's small steps, like, oh, I can tolerate this level of stress just a little bit better than I could last time. Even those things help grow
Yeah.
that.
What I really enjoy about what you're saying is that you're pointing out something that's awesome about me. And so I just think that I should make note of that.
Yes.
Uh-huh.
Good.
One of the things that, if you don't mind if I shift a little bit on this, I think that within the resilience, idea of resilience, there's the idea of growth as well. Like when someone who's committed to growth.
This is the most important thing to look for in a partner. After meeting with thousands of clients and our own marriage being interesting and difficult and then amazing, the number one thing you need in a partner is that they have a growth mindset.
Yeah, totally. And I think that without a growth mindset, it's inevitably going to move towards the potential for failure and disaster. Because what happens is if growth isn't one of my highest desires inside of myself, I live in an act of resistance usually instead of acceptance. Like someone who desires growth says, I accept the circumstances that are here. I'm not going to resist them. I want to figure out how to face them rather than run from them. And relationships are all about running to each other rather than running from each other. In the middle of problems, difficulties, misunderstandings, it's like I want to somehow find solutions. So that like growth people are solution-oriented people at the end of the day. So when you find someone that says, I think growth, the desire for growth covers a multitude of sins.
Absolutely. Well, that's how we're married.
Yeah.
Honestly, I think this one quality in you is the reason that our marriage made it.
Right. And I agree. Same with you. Like, I think that if either of us, some of the messes that we've had in our lives, if we didn't have the desire for growth, we would have snapped and gone separate directions.
100%.
But it's like the thing that settles me when I bump in the ugliest parts of you, and I'm sure it's the same for you, the ugliest parts of me when you bump into it, is this knowledge that the person across from me is committed to working through these parts of themselves. Like they're not going to run from this forever. And so there's a sense of relief of, I'm like, this isn't going to be this way forever. There will be evolution. There will be change. And that's a hopeful feeling in any relationship.
Oh, my biggest fear in making commitments in relationship was, am I going to be stuck with this part of that person's personality forever? Are you going to do this thing? Are you always going to interrupt me when I'm doing this? Are you always going to be in a rush during meals? The fear of, will you be the same for the rest of our lives? And will I be trapped by that for the rest of our lives? And a lot of us, I saw my parents and it felt like they were trapped.
Yeah.
And it felt like cycles just repeated over and over and over again. And it did not feel like there was a way out. And so I think a lot of us have that deep fear of commitment being trapping to us. And it is trapping if you're not with somebody that has a growth mindset. Now, a growth mindset makes it so that you're always evolving together. There's always newness and growth and transformation. And so I look at all of the fears I had when we first got married. I was like, oh my gosh, is it going to be like this forever? Is it going to be like this forever? And none of it has been like that forever.
No.
Because we've been transforming little by little every year.
Yeah. And it's one of the number one things. Well, let me see how to say this. One of the number one reasons that I see people break up is because there is not change and growth and development inside of the relationship.
Absolutely.
So I hear people come and sit down in my office and they say, my partner won't do anything to grow or change. I can't take it anymore. We're now 15 years in and I've done all this work to develop and they've done nothing to develop themselves.
Yeah.
I'm sure they've done something, but it's like there's a strong depletion of that inside of the relationship, and that starts snapping it.
Yeah. You start to feel suffocated and trapped. If my partner won't change and I'm trying to change and grow, it feels like no matter how much growth I do or what I do, I'm always going to be in this prison cell. And that feels so scary and so overwhelming, and it feels lonely.
Hopeless.
When I'm changing and I'm trying to grow a lot and I'm with somebody who has no value for growth, it's like there's so much about them that I can't know and so much about me that they can't know. And so it feels lonely.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think that I was thinking about this concept of growth being so important because again, some assumptions that I have about the world, which is I'm never going to know everything there is to know about humans because humans are infinitely complex. So I'm never going to just get to the place where I've arrived. I know every way to respond to everybody all the time. I always say the right thing. I always know how to interact. I always know how to repair. The concept in relationships is I'm going to be growing the rest of my life, and I might figure you out, and then I might have a best friend that I have to figure out a totally different system for how we can relate in a healthy way. And so the concept of relationships are something you can learn the rest of your life. So pick a partner that is excited to learn the lessons of love, excited to learn the lessons of relationships, that there's like an actual spark in them that is like, humans are curious to me and I can't wait to be the best I can be as I grow and learn.
Yeah. I like this. So you're talking about the learn thing and we've talked about growth. One of the things that's I think goes hand in hand with that is the idea of a partner who has the capacity for feedback. So especially within regards to their community. So to me, some of the best ways that I've developed and I've grown is because I have a strong knit community where I actually want to hear what they have to say. I'm not hard-headed. I'm like, how do you see this? Here's the problems that I'm having with Abby. Here's the problems I'm having in these other relationships in my life. What is your feedback? What are you seeing inside of this? What do I need to correct inside of this? And so someone who's open to feedback, again, it's like, you don't have to be perfect, but do you have a heart posture that's open for feedback? Because it's like, that is a person I know that if Abby here is open to feedback, I don't have to be the one at war with her all the time trying to give her feedback about the impact that she's having on me. If she's open to feedback, especially with her community, I get to sit back and be like, I know that somewhere within her relationship between her and her community, aspects of this thing are going to come and rear their head and she's going to find solutions inside of herself with them.
I mean, this saved our marriage is you getting feedback from other people, because as long as I feel like I'm the only person saying it, I have to get louder and more demanding and more passionate about it if you're not hearing me. And most of the time, I hate this, but I think this is the truth about the world. Most of the time, we are slow to listen to the feedback of the people we're closest to. Just think about like when your mom or dad would tell you something, like you're slow to listen to it. Your mom would be like, you're so special. You'd be like, okay, yeah, whatever, mom. You know what I mean? That feeling of we just disregard. I know I disregarded your feedback for years because I was like, well, you're just seeing me through the filter of this and this and this, and you're reacting because you're not seeing how you're impacting me for this and this and this. And so I actually disregarded a lot of your feedback And it wasn't until other people gave me the same feedback.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh man, this is probably just true about me.
Yeah.
I actually probably do show up like this. And the same happened with you. There are things you did not hear from me.
Yeah.
But you would hear it from someone else who didn't have the same pain points with you, who didn't have the same biases as me. And all of a sudden you're like, okay, I guess I can think about that.
Yeah. It's interesting because like you went through a season where you had a mirror held up to your face.
Mm-hmm.
And it felt relieving to me. I'm like, I don't have to keep fighting this war with her.
Mm-hmm.
Feedback's happening over in that space.
Mm-hmm.
And again, that lowered like the anxiety in the relationship because I was
It wasn't like you had to fix me or
no,
try to get me to change.
or try and get you to have an aha moment inside of it. It got to get worked out over there. And it was a huge gift, you know? And like that, again, like you said, our marriage was saved by feedback for both of us, really. And yeah, I think it's just vital.
Yeah. Guess what we just did?
What did we just do, Abby?
We created the connection cure. And I think this is the thing that I'm most excited that we've ever created for people, because it is all of the years of courses that we've made, making it available in one monthly healing membership where you get to be connected to people who are going on the same journey as you while getting access to all of the things that we have made: Relationship Glue, Reclaiming You, the Compassion Project,
the Father Series, Living Fully Alive, the Regulation Library.
Yes, we have so many things that we've created over the years. We've had over 10,000 people do our courses. We've met with over 4,000 individual clients. And now we have brought all of it together so that you could have access to all of it for less than one counseling session a month.
Yep. And what's really cool is that monthly we have live connection calls where people get together and have those connection moments, talk about what they're going through, how they're healing in their process. And that's been one of the number one things that people have said is so incredible about doing our courses is the community that they create and the healing that takes place inside of that community. I mean, we've had people find their spouses,
find their best friends, find their community, because finally there's people where they realize I'm not alone and I'm allowed to be loved right now in the messiness of my life before everything is fixed, before everything is perfect. You can belong before you have transformed. You can be loved before you're fixed in this community. And it is really rich and beautiful and healing. We're meant to heal with each other. And the whole point of why we made this is so that people could have a holistic healing pathway. We do so much with connecting to your body and actually learning how to move with your body through emotions so that things don't get buried alive in your body. The body keeps the score. We want to zero that score out. And then we have heart connection stuff where you're actually feeling empathy for yourself and others, where you're actually connecting to your own story and you're actually having time to not just learn logically about why you do what you do, but actually have new feelings towards yourself. And then we have all of the logic, the neuroscience, all of the reasons why your body and your brain do what they do so you can actually understand yourself for the first time and start to have kindness towards why your body is made to react the way it is so that you can heal. It's body, heart, and mind all together in a way that is really, really beautiful.
Yeah, it's cool. It's a really cool membership because you get to stay as long as you want or as short as you want inside of it. You're not trapped inside of it, but you have access to an incredible community and great information. And so that is coming soon. You can go to Justin and Abby, that's abi.com, and you can get on our mailing list there, and we'll let you be the first to know when we release that. But this is something we've been planning for a while now, and I'm glad we're getting to do it.
It's about to come out. Okay. One thing that I think is a green flag is that you feel safe to be honest.
Yeah.
So I know that feeling in my body when I'm on edge. I feel like there's something going on inside of me and I'm like, for sure, I cannot let them know because they will freak out at me or they'll get super depressed or they'll go into self-hatred and shame or they will get defensive or they'll blame me. There's all these things that if you are having repeated times of sharing something and the response back is rough, you start to just be like, I don't want to share. I just don't want to be honest. I just don't want to tell them what's going on inside of me. I just want to have I want it to be more surface level. You just slowly lock down parts of your heart. And the feeling of I can be honest in this relationship is the opposite of that trap feeling. It's euphoric. Like I can share my feelings. I can share my needs. And I feel like we're not perfect at this now.
Yeah.
But I feel like I have a felt body memory now that I can be honest and it can go well.
Yeah. I think that that was one of the stumbling blocks in our marriage for a lot of years for both of us, is that there was areas where we just did not feel safe to be honest with each other.
Mm-hmm.
And I like that we've been developing into a place of that. But I think it's so beautiful for people as they're exploring, being able to be like, is that something that exists? And how much does that matter? And I'm going to say that it profoundly impacts the relationship.
Oh, yeah. Well, you have way more intimacy when you're honest.
Yeah.
You have way more connection. I think your sex life is way better when you're honest. And I think it keeps walls down and creates depth.
I know that I've heard that from clients. That's one of the big pain points, is when they're like, I can't even be honest with my partner.
Well, yeah. If you have to keep secrets or you have to keep stories that you feel like are separate, or there's just topics you can't talk through.
Yeah, topics you can't talk through, or just legitimate, like, expressing what's going on inside of themselves. Like, I can't bring this to the table. If I do, they're going to use it against me. They're going to get angry at me. They're going to turn it on me. Whatever it happens to be. I've seen that as a major pain point that's come up with.
It's an interesting thing, this subject that we're talking about, because both of us have a little bit of this that worked and a little bit of this that didn't work. There were lots of ways I felt like I could be honest with you.
Yeah.
There's a lot of things like our core values I felt like we could be so honest about. I feel like I could be honest with my dreams. I think that's one of the most vulnerable things to be honest with. My hopes, my fears, my insecurities. But I know that there were also ways that we couldn't be honest fully with each other that were healthy. Like, you wanted to vent in a way that did not feel good to me. And so I was like, I can't handle that kind of honesty with me.
Yeah.
That doesn't feel safe to me. And so it's an interesting thing when we talk about the ability to be honest, because it doesn't mean the ability to say whatever, however, whenever.
Yeah.
Because we've had to put a lot of boundaries. Same with me. Like, I had a lot of feelings that felt really scary to you. And so I've had to learn how to communicate those. It's not that I can't be honest. It's that I need to be honest in a healthy way.
Yeah. It's our delivery of how we communicate our truth.
Yeah. Because I heard this, there's this couple that I know. And the husband was like, my anger is my honesty. Like, that is my vulnerability. That is exactly what I'm feeling. And the wife was like, that feels horrible. So the only way that you can feel powerful enough to be honest means that I have to have this aggression towards me. And I'm like, no, there's a way to be honest in a way that's still honoring and respectful.
You mean there's a way to communicate even about something like anger in the relationship that doesn't feel violent or attacking. It can be a truth that's being shared in a way that a person can receive it.
Yeah.
Yeah, that makes sense. You talked about values and aligning with values. I think that, first off, most people don't know what their core values are.
Sure.
Especially when you're younger, you don't know what those are. You're developing your core values throughout your life. But figuring out those core values is something that's really necessary.
Yeah.
And I don't know, do you have some kids or core about how to...
Well, I think there's a lot of practical things that it's worth figuring out if your partner has the same things. Do you have the same core values around money? I asked, like, how do you spend money? How do you save money? What is your vision for money? Because I was like, if we have different core values about money, this is something that we have to navigate and negotiate our entire relationship.
Yeah.
And so I was like, I want to make sure we're aligned on similar core values. And we do. We have similar core values for budgeting, for saving, for generosity. So we've never had to do a tug of war over that.
Yeah.
Where I know a lot of couples have to do a tug of war because they have different values. Now, that can be okay. Like, I know lots of couples where one person is a spender and one person is a saver. And if their core value is to honor each other through their marriage with that, that's a great balance. Like if their core value is like, I want to learn how to spend more and I want to learn how to save more. And so we're honoring each other, then that's a beautiful mix.
Yeah.
But the core value has to be that we see our differences and we want to both come to the middle.
Yeah. I think that another core value, just because I wanted to mention a couple of them, like I think faith plays a role in that, wherever your faith is and what your expectations are inside of that. Because I had a couple in my office where the husband was Jewish and the wife was Catholic. And like he was like strong practicing Jew. And when I watched the way that they navigated things, at the core of them, like what you're talking about, they had an honor for each other's differences in that. And their core value was like, our faith can be different. Do we honor ourselves in our expression of faith?
Yes.
Or do we try to control each other into it? And each of them had this beautiful sense of like, I remember her saying just like, I love that he's observes the Sabbath the way he does. I would never do that. Like I'm off, like living my life, having fun, but that's his quiet time. And he gets to have that. And he's not demanding that I come under the umbrella of how he's living his life. But they had other values. Like within their context of faith, they had like the value of like loving,
caring for humanity,
well, right? And they didn't see eye to eye. Like he did not sit there and say, I think Jesus is the Messiah.
Sure.
He's like, I don't get that. Like I don't get the whole thing, but whatever. Again, it's like, but areas like things like faith or something and how we approach it. It doesn't even mean we have to have the same faith, but we have to have a similar approach.
Well, and really you're saying we have to have a similar core value. It doesn't have to be that our faith is itself, exactly the same, but maybe our similar core value is loving and respecting each other, giving people the ability to be valued in their differences, you know? Yeah. Like being willing, like if both people are willing, like, oh, I'm going to come to your church on these days and you can come to my church on these days. And this is how we're going to do it together. If you have people that want to honor each other, that core value can make you through can get you through the differences in core values.
Yeah. And I saw that inside of them where there was like there wasn't a sense of selfishness of like, well, my faith is the highest faith. Yours is second class. I'm never going to go to anything that you're doing over there. There was this like, oh, I will go to Catholic Mass on Christmas and I will hang out with you on that as long as we celebrate this over here. And she's like, I'll do that with you. I'll explore that, whatever, and enjoy you for it. So anyways, that it can be really beautiful. Again, value systems.
I love that. Under core values, like, do you want to have kids? How many kids do you want? What kind of lifestyle do we want to live? How busy do we want to be? How career oriented do we want to be? What roles do we see inside of this? So there's so many different roles. I see on social media, there's like, traditional wives and husbands where the wife stays at home and cooks all day and the husband goes and work. And then you have wives who are like the money makers and their husbands are stay-at-home dads. And then there's such a spectrum. It really matters most that you can both be on the same page with about it. Like what kind of core values? I think for us, we've had a very partnership-minded mentality around working and gender roles. I think it's been like we're both trying to contribute. And that's another thing, like cleaning and bills and getting stuff done. Who is going to take care of that? Whose roles are those going to be? And is there a way that you can, like, does that work without resentment?
Yeah.
Are you angry that you're the only one who keeps the house clean? Like, because
I think that's a value system like there that was like a really hot point for the two of us. I know I'm totally interrupting you, but I'm thinking about that, how this threw a monkey wrench into it.
Well, you don't think about this. Like I didn't think about this before I got married, that how clean we both wanted the house to be would be a battleground that we would face daily.
Yeah.
Every single day.
Because your two environments all of a sudden collide. I had I just didn't know. In my mind, women are like clean. and manage their environments well. And at that
Your
point,
mom did a great job of that.
yeah,
She was clean and managed her environment.
yeah,
Mhm.
yeah. But it wasn't. I just didn't. I didn't know, and I don't think that I was better off. Like I had to. I was at an extreme end, and you were at an extreme end. But the thought was we didn't investigate that.
No, we didn't talk through how clean do you want to keep the house? What does that practically look like? How often do you do chores? When do you do them? Like even you want to get all the housework done in the morning, and I wanted to get all the housework done in the evening. Like I'm like, let's spend the whole day having fun and then we'll clean.
Right.
And you're like, I can't have fun until I clean. And so we had very different core values here. And that's what we're saying. You can be in a relationship with different core values. If you have a core value that overarches that.
An overarching core value that
Mhm.
covers it all, right?
Yes. And so for us, our overarching core value was that we wanted to grow and become better versions of
And we
ourselves.
wanted to have a partnership.
And we wanted a partnership, and we wanted to grow, have a partnership. My brain just completely.
We wanted to honor each other.
We wanted to honor each other. Yeah. So we wanted to find win-wins.
Yeah.
So we were trying to navigate that. Now,
Yeah, we had a huge value for win-wins.
and I think also we knew that stuff was going to take time.
Correct.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it took us a long time before we got into a safe, relaxed, healthy pattern in the house.
Yeah.
Because both of us grew.
Yeah, we did.
Mm-hmm.
We did.
And I think we had a core value that compromise is necessary. You know, like both of us had to give up what our ideal living environment would be. You gave up how clean you wanted yours to be. I gave up how relaxed I wanted mine to be. And we both came to the middle to find a middle ground. And I think it's okay if you have different core values. I know I'm thinking of one relationship where the wife is very messy and the husband likes things clean. And I'm like, it depends on how much stress those two things cause you. If clutter causes you a level 10 stress, and some people that does, and you don't have a partner that wants to grow, that's going to be a big problem for you. If clutter causes you level 10 stress, but you have a partner that wants to grow and you want to grow, and you're like, I want to learn to be less stressed and I want them to learn how to keep things cleaner. Or we'll find like, here, you gave me a room. You're like, here's a room with a door. You can be as messy in that room as you want. And that really worked for us. And that's what a lot of the core values is negotiating. We negotiated this.
The word's compromise that's going on. And a lot of people don't have the value of compromise.
Mhm.
It's all about, I need to win at all costs. I need to be right at all costs. And people. So to me, that's one of those is seeing someone who doesn't need to be right at all costs.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Yep. And somebody that is willing to negotiate. I think negotiating even things down to like, we will keep the house this level of clean on these 5 days, but on the weekends it gets to be relaxed like this. Like there's so many solutions for how to create things for both people to get their needs met. Most of us are like, it's just that tug of war between it's clean or it's messy. It's clean or it's messy, instead of finding that there are solutions where you both can feel like your needs matter.
So when you're talking about all of this, like what you're talking about is there's a potential for battles, and that's going to be one of those healthy assumptions, is that marriage is going to come, or a deep committed relationship is going to come with some major battles, no matter what. It doesn't matter if you check off everything on the list we're talking about, like you're still going to find the problems, right?
Yeah.
So, but one of those is this aspect of repairing well.
Oh, this is to me maybe one of the best qualifiers for if you're going to have a healthy relationship.
Yeah, is if you're going to repair well.
Mm-hmm.
And what does repairing well look like? So a lot of us do not have examples in our childhoods or in our lives about of what repairing well looks like. And so it doesn't mean that it's a strike against people. You know, if you have the desire to grow, then there's a potential, if you haven't come from a place of repairing well, You can discover that. You can create that. But I think, like, what does repair well even mean, right? And that's a question you have to ask. Like, what is repairing well? Are we, is the person across from me, or am I a person who is seeking to understand, wanting to take ownership, looking to validate, trying to find solutions,
Trying to find the middle ground.
has an aspect of empathy inside of when there's messes and relational messes that take place.
You know, it's interesting because as we're talking, I feel nervous to say this, but I am just going to say it. Is
Okay. I'm nervous now.
a great relationship hack in 2025 is ChatGPT.
Oh,
Because you can literally say, I'm in this conflict. What are things that I can do to help create repair well? What are ways that I can create safety? What are ways that I can take ownership? What are ways that you actually have something that you can ask to get really good. I mean, it doesn't give you good feedback. It will give you an echo chamber feedback. It'll tell you that you're the best and all of your feelings are the most important. And so you have to be careful. But if you ask it, like, what are ways I can take ownership?
yeah.
What are ways that I can apologize? What are ways that what are secret option C's that we could come up with to negotiate a solution for this? What are possible ideas? Compromises, things like that, where you can actually use that tool to help you get better at repair.
I have this one individual coming into my mind, and every time there was a disconnect inside of the relationship, they went immediately to bitterness, resentment, and unforgiveness that they would lock onto as a protector.
Mm-hmm.
And so I watched the battles in their relationship for years where they couldn't ever repair because there was a hard-heartedness inside of this individual that constantly created a divide that felt almost impossible to get over. And it didn't have to be that way. And so watching
people who don't apologize, people who refuse to have humility, people who only blame, all of those are repair blockers.
Yeah.
People who are always defensive, people who make a huge deal out of anything that you share, all of those things, if they don't come back. Now, we've done a lot of messy behavior.
Oh, absolutely.
And this is
crazy.
I think the hope about repair is that we don't have to be perfect in the moment. Repair is that I can come back after the moment and I can say, I didn't do that well. And this is actually what I'd like to do better. And I care about you. And this is the truth about how I want to take care of you. Like, repair covers the mistakes that we make and the messes that we have.
Yeah. Yeah. And a commitment to that of, repairing well is a commitment to connection. It's the idea that I care more about connection than I do about being right.
I just got very excited about you.
We're going to make love later. So,
because I was feeling that, you do have a commitment to our connection.
Yeah.
And so when things are hard, you do have a commitment to come back.
Yeah. On our worst situations, I am fighting to move towards that. And someone who is fighting for connection, that's gold when you got two people that are fighting for that. Now, fighting for that might not equal, you might still have bombs go off that are
100%.
enormous.
Yeah, it's still going to be hard.
Disastrous bombs.
Sure.
But you both are headed back to home base.
I met this person who's engaged. I was asking them questions like, what do you love about each other? What made you decide to marry them? All those kinds of questions. And as the day went on, we were talking more, and they ended up talking about how they have very different beliefs around emotions. And I was thinking, you don't know that this is a big deal in marriage, that you guys having very different beliefs around emotions will cause a lot of problems. Say one of them is very comfortable having emotions and the other one thinks that there's no point in them.
Yeah, and emotions are stupid. So
I was just like, that's actually going to be a very big problem. Very big problem. But I didn't know them, so I wasn't going to say that. But I was thinking the only way this works is if both of you are committed to growth, so that you both, you might have to learn how to manage your emotions well, and he might have to learn how to feel and validate emotions more. And there's definitely going to have to be something that you guys do.
Yeah, that's good. One of the things that stands out to me, go ahead.
I was just thinking about how interesting it is as we're having this conversation. I'm having the realization that it's less that you have all of the same values, but you have a few values that are consistently bringing you back to each other.
Yeah.
And those few values is probably a value for connection and a value for growth. Those and a value for like compromise. I think those three values cover, or compromise or respect or honor. I think those kind of cover all the differences that you could have.
Yeah, because once you hit all those differences, you keep going back to that core value and you can navigate through the differences.
Yeah, I was thinking about for us, when we got married, I didn't realize we had different core values around kids. You did not want kids. I wanted kids. That felt like a big shock. And that has been something that really didn't cause us a lot of pain in marriage, which is surprising. But I think it's because we both had the core value for growth and to honor and love each other. And you had the core value of, if that's a dream of her heart, I'm going to care about it. And I had the core value of, if that's a thing you don't want, I'm going to care about that. And we kind of put it in the middle and said, we're both going to grow and get healthier around this place. And then it ended up happening that I got sick and we couldn't have kids. It's a beautiful story that I ended up being with somebody that was really comfortable with that from the beginning. But the difference in our core value didn't become a breaking point because of our values to honor and love each other and to find compromises.
I want to say, like, even the value system that I had when I approached the concept of kids, where I was like, oh yeah, absolutely was clear I didn't want kids. I don't know where she's at on this. You know, I immediately went back to, but can I go on the journey of working this out inside of me? Am I willing to face the obstacles that I have and heal whatever needs to be healed that might be the barrier for me? And so I remember spending an excessive amount of time working on that.
Absolutely.
And working through childhood wounds and coming to a place where I was like, okay, I actually have the capacity to go on the journey. It wasn't like I was like, I want kids now. I was like, no, I worked through the hurdles, the roadblocks.
I'm open to this.
And I'm open to this. And as much as she needs to explore it, I'm exploring it with a truly open hand. And so that went from a closed fist to an open hand on it. But it's only because I had the core value of compromise and growth and, you know, the healing work, you know?
Yeah, there's something that is really incredible when both people have open hands.
Oh, yeah.
No, I was thinking about how different that feels. I was thinking about, now people should watch on YouTube because they're like, what is happening? I was thinking about that versus two closed fists where we're battling each other versus like when we're both like, okay, I see that you have a core value and I have a core value. How are we going to navigate that together?
I felt like Ricky Bobby. I didn't know what to do with my hands. I was like, what do you want? What do you want from my hands right now?
Okay, I want to switch to another thing that is massively important. This is one of the most important core values that you need to have similar. We've talked about a lot of things that you can have different core values in. What helps you feel safe with sexuality? You have to find somebody that matches that.
It's true.
Now everybody's different, right? So like some people, I know one friend is like, I don't want somebody who's posting any pictures of them in swimsuits on social media. And then I have other friends that are like, I don't want anyone who's trying to control what I post on social media. Everybody has their own hurts in sexuality, the things that have caused them lots of pain in the past. And so everybody has different needs for what safe sexuality looks like. For me, it looked like I wanted somebody who didn't lie because I didn't want to find out that you had an addiction that I wasn't aware of or that you were sleeping around with somebody. Like
second family.
It was very important to me to not only, now for me, what felt safe sexually is that you understood emotional health, because I was like, if you don't understand emotional health, you can make big messes with your sexuality. If you don't
Yep.
understand what's going on in your heart, you can find
Blow up
yourself cheating.
relationships.
You can find
Yep.
yourself making messes, sexting the girl on Instagram. Like it's easy to do that if you're not aware of your heart and your needs and what you need and how to communicate that, then those things can become bigger and bigger problems. So for me, I looked at what do I need to feel safe with sexuality? And when I think about that, I'm like, I don't want to be controlling. I don't want to be always in anxiety. I don't want fear. And so I looked at how you related to women. I looked at how you related to the girls around you. I looked at your history with sexuality, and it wasn't perfect at all.
No.
But there were core values of how you managed yourself that I knew would be safe for me, for what I needed. And a lot of those were like, you were startlingly honest, shockingly, sometimes too much honest about things. And you had your own sense of conviction over sexuality. You had your own core values. So it wasn't me trying to be like, I need you to manage yourself better. You were a self-manager in your relationships.
And that would have driven me absolutely insane if I had a different expression of sexuality that didn't align with your values and you just kept trying to browbeat me into having it, and then choosing to marry me knowing that, and then being frustrated, because I see that a lot in committed relationships.
Absolutely.
Like, this person was showing you this all along. You tried to control them out of it. They didn't change it. You now want to control them now, instead of being like, that didn't line up for us. That should have been the thing where I said, well, this matters so much to me. I can't do this relationship. I can't go down the road with you. Otherwise, we spend our lives trying to control people.
I know. I didn't want to have to. The anxiety I feel if you're not following the thing that makes me safe is horrible for me and horrible for you.
You know, it's interesting. You brought up like how people express themselves maybe on Instagram or something like that. For me, I could have never been with a woman who constantly is, because it's like women scantily clad. Every picture is, I'm trying to seduce. I'm trying to create seduction in these images and stuff like that.
That was not aligned with your
right. And it's not just the idea of this, the woman I'm with might be showing her body off to a bunch of other men like that. I'm not insecure like that. It was that expression of sexuality is not part of my personal value system. Like, I don't look at that and go, I have a high value for that. I would love for you to have that expression. Just didn't. And so for me, I saw the way that you expressed your sexuality, and I'm like, oh, she has a sexuality that she can express, and it's beautiful. And we have a great sex life where you express your sexuality wonderful, but it's not in a way that feels dangerous to me. I don't know how else to put it.
My core values around sex feel safe for you. And that's the whole point. And everybody's core values are different. Yeah. But like, one thing I thought that I noticed about you is that you were aware of consequences versus short-term gains.
Right.
So you would like play out a whole situation like, oh, it might feel good for a second to do this, but if I do this, then this and this and this will happen. Then I'll have to face this consequence. And just your awareness of consequences is what kept you in balance. You're like, I don't want to cheat on you because that looks like so much work for me to have to deal with. Pain,
suffering, exhaustion.
Yes. You're like, the joy of that would be horrible. It would kill me.
A little bit of cheating is not worth that much suffering
for you. Yeah. And so that to me created a lot of safety. And I think sexuality is one of the things that can bring the most threat in a relationship. Yeah. And it's important that you find somebody that has safe values, whatever safe is for you, that you have common values on how, like, and you need to talk through, like, I remember working with this one couple. I was like, if you're going to have affairs on them, their whole marriage, you need to just be upfront about that and see if they actually are okay with that. Like,
are you open to an open relationship?
I mean, you gotta be fully honest with what your brain is at. And if you're like, I can't commit to being monogamous, then you need to let that person know. Yeah. So that they can decide what feels safe to them. For me, monogamy feels really safe. And so I needed somebody that had that core value.
There's been a conversation about polyamorous couples and stuff. And I'm just like, you can do you, right? Like I know that I would rather like end it.
You feel like one of me is enough.
Well, yeah, that and the complications in relationships, and like it, I haven't seen stuff like that work well. So it just doesn't work well in my brain. But if somebody's like, hey, I want to do this, great. Find the person that has that value system, because there's no way if you try to drag someone into a relationship and you think, hey, bringing someone else into this relationship, I'll try and like spring it on them.
Mm-hmm.
You're going to create disaster and havoc and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
And again, it's that idea of like being honest up front.
Mm-hmm.
About things. And I think that this is an area that can get very toxic really quickly in sexuality when people aren't on a similar page. And that doesn't mean that there won't be problems inside of sexuality. It's just like we're in a realm of the same place.
Well, and one of the things that's really sad is you'll get two people who have different core values in sexuality. And oftentimes one of them will betray themselves in order to act like they're the same as the other person. So for the example, I know like a woman whose husband was like, I would like a open marriage. And so she was like, yeah, me too. But she didn't really.
No, she didn't. Yeah.
She didn't. And now she'll say that, like, I didn't want that. I just didn't want to lose the connection. And I felt like I had to be the same and I had to be open. And so that's why there's a value for creating, having similar core values, because a difference in this area, in the area of sexuality, will pull you into betraying yourself, will pull you into betraying your worldview, will pull you into abandoning yourself in a way that could create a lot of toxic situations for you. So, yeah.
I know we're getting close to wrapping stuff up.
We are. One of them I think that's super important that we haven't touched on is, do you have fun?
Yeah. In fact, I think that's right up there with one of the most important ones.
Mm-hmm.
I think they're all valuable, right? But if you cannot have fun, you cannot weather so many of the difficulties 100%. That come. Even if there's not direct difficulties between you and I, life throws you like lemons and rocks and tells you to eat them.
Totally.
And it's like just the basic day-to-day survival experience. You need to be able to come back and go, but I know that I have a fun partner. I know that somewhere in the midst of being in this human mess that is life, I'm going to have someone that we're going to find a way to find joy and pleasure. And yeah, like that's one of the things that attracted me to you initially was like, oh, there's a lot of aspects of fun. I can be fun and playful, and she can respond to that and inject that fun and play with me. And it felt like you helped foster bringing out a lot of the childlike play as well, further out of me.
Yeah.
And that you feel so alive when you're having fun.
Yeah, it's good. It's chemistry. Fun is chemistry. Fun is flirting. Fun is the joy that helps you for all the painful parts of relationships that are hard. It's kind of the buoy. It keeps you like buoyed back. And I grew up in a really spiritual environment. So I was like very serious about all the core values that need to match up and how they need to look. And I really do feel like fun was something that a couple challenged me on. They're like, you don't have fun on your list of core values, but you spend so much time with somebody. You got to be able to have hobbies. You got to be able to do light things that help you enjoy life. Like you got to have some compatibility, actual compatibility. And it can be little things like we love playing cards together. We love going to the lake together. We love going boating. We love going on drives. We love going on walks. We love going on hikes. We love getting in nature. We love playing games. So you got to have some things that you actually love to do together.
Yeah, it's good. And I think when you're talking about the fun aspect,
we love watching shows together.
Yeah, there's that translates into friendship. And I think that's the other thing is like, do I feel like this is a person that I can do friendship with? Because there's a lot of times where couples are attracted to each other for many different things, but they don't have a core friendship. And I've had them sit across from me and I'm like, where's your friendship? What do you mean friendship? Like now that you've chiseled away what you perceive as romance, all the feelings are gone of the romantic aspect. There's no friendship.
Yeah. Do you like telling them about your day? Do you want to hear about
Do you like being
theirs?
around them?
Yeah. Do you want to be around their energy?
Do you want to go spend more time? Like you talked about us going out and just doing casual
Mhm.
things together. Like we have so much fun just
Mhm.
going on those walks or going and hanging out on the
I
boat and
like
stuff. I'm like,
being with you.
I'm with my friend,
Yeah.
dreaming about life and doing life together
Mhm.
rather than this person that I'm forced to do life with.
We love listening to podcasts together and listening to
talking about
books
them,
together and debriefing. Yeah, we have a lot of things that we love to do. And it makes it really nice. I feel thankful. I feel thankful that I met you. One thing that we didn't talk about is core values around conflict. And I think that should be on the list of we have similar beliefs of what conflict should be and shouldn't. Like I don't think we had that when we got married of like, this is appropriate in conflict. This is not appropriate in conflict.
Yeah.
I think we had different concepts. And I think that is a really important core value.
There's one other quick one I wanted to throw in there. Is the idea of, are you attracted to them? And that's a funny question to ask or bring up, you know?
Yeah.
Because a lot of people are like, well, if you're into them, you're attracted to them, right? No, you're not. Like I have had so many people sit across from me and say, man, I love they check all these boxes, but I am just not attracted to them.
Oh man.
I haven't been. And I've found that the people that got married
with no attraction,
it
did not grow.
Nope. And it didn't, and the problem didn't go away.
Nope.
I've sat through
heartbreaking, just built a bigger chasm.
Yep. Heartbreaking conversations. Like I never was attracted to them. I don't know why I married them. I mean, I know I had this list and it was great and everything is great and they're a great person. And I feel horrible about saying that I'm still not attracted to them. I never was. I don't know what was wrong with me. And then there's this guilt and there's this shame of like, I pushed past that. And I'm like, look, if you are not attracted to this person, don't take them down the aisle. Don't create that commitment. Love them enough that you say, but a component that's very key, not to their face, but I'm just not attracted to you. Like acknowledge that inside of yourself.
Absolutely.
And give them the freedom to go like, but there's someone that will be attracted to them and they deserve to have someone that's attracted to them. And if I'm not, to me,
this is one of the biggest problems I see in relationship. And this is one of the biggest reasons I think people don't commit. Is because they either don't know if it's enough attraction or they don't feel attracted. And I think that's painful. I've seen it. It's painful for both people.
Yeah.
It's painful if you're the person where you're like, there's something that they think isn't quite enough about me and I don't know what it is. It's painful for the person that's like, I love everything about them and I wish I could get myself to be more attractive.
Yeah. And I've seen that in men and women alike. This was not one
Nope.
gender or the other. It was like both genders have had that same conversation of I'm just not attracted. And there could be a million reasons why they're not. Unhealthy reasons, healthy reasons, who knows? It just simply is like it exists. And to me, and I say this non-shamefully, but if you choose to get into a relationship with a person and you're not attracted to them, but you're choosing them because they check the rest of the list, there's an aspect of selfishness that's inside of that because it's about like, but they check my list and they work for me in these areas and I want to have those aspects of them, but I'm not attracted to them. Like that's not fair to do to someone.
Yeah, I think it's really painful. I think people think I want to love them, so maybe that will change.
And maybe it'll grow and develop, you know. And
I don't think it's a conscious selfishness. I think it's like
I don't think it's conscious either. But I don't think it's taken into consideration
what the other person is needing.
The reality of like, what does that person need? And I think that if I hadn't have ultimately been attracted to you and you'd checked all those boxes, the way that I was wired, I would have not.
You would have broken up. Yeah,
I would have broken up because I would have been like, that's not fair to me to do to her. And this is, and I would have played the movie out and said, 5 years down the road from now, like I'm probably going to still have the same problem.
And yet, there were times that you weren't sure if you were attracted to me.
It's true, there were,
and but so I knew, that's the thing that is fascinating.
I knew why though.
Oh yeah.
Like that's just a side note. I was aware of why. I could tell that you had self-hatred on you.
I was wearing it.
And I was like, I know there's a beautiful woman here, but she's wearing her self-hatred in the way that she's showing up to life. And I don't feel attracted to her when she's wearing that. But I believed truly, I wasn't like, I can change her. I was like, no, she's going to come out of this. Like love is going to have its way inside of her and she's going to shine through. And I could feel the truth of that.
Yeah. Yeah. I think I was just trying to say it wasn't black and white.
No, it wasn't.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was a better person than you though, because I was always attracted to you.
I mean, were you?
Except for the times
better?
I wasn't.
Were you better?
Yes, definitely better.
Oh, yeah. Okay, good.
Okay, so if you're listening to this, a couple things. If you're in a relationship and there's some major discrepancies you have, that doesn't mean you need to go out and break up with them. That means you need to go have conversations with them. Go negotiate. See, is there a middle ground we can come to for this? Is there a secret option C of how we can figure out a lifestyle of cleanliness? Is there a way that we can talk through this? And I think even looking at relationship, like accepting truths, like we're going to have the same environment for the next 40 years if we're together. So how do we have a clean enough space? And how do we negotiate who does what in the cleaning of that? And how do we like looking at it practically and being like, we're going to have conflict for the next 40 years. So how do we learn repair well so that it doesn't feel traumatic for us? We're going to have ups and downs. So how do we learn to care for each other's hearts and respect each other? I think this enables you to have conversations
that can be life-changing.
Yes.
They could totally pivot the way that you're personally doing life and the way that the relationship evolves. You might find that the person across from you goes, I don't understand all that stuff over there, but I want to.
Yep.
And it might be enough that it does work. So,
and if you're married and some of these are poking huge buttons, it's worth listening to with your spouse and being like, can we find solutions together?
Yeah.
I don't want to dominate you until don't use our podcast to be like, you're bad, you're
Listen
horrible.
Listen to this. You need to know you're not doing this right.
Use our podcast to be like, they're having a conversation that inspired me to want to come up with solutions with you, but I want to collaborate. I want us to find a core value that covers this discrepancy well together.
Yeah, it's good. Well, if you haven't gone to YouTube yet, go to YouTube.
See us.
We say it all the time.
You can see our nifty hand gestures.
Yeah, here they are.
That we were doing earlier.
I'm doing tickle fingers if you're
gosh.
watching. Go to YouTube, subscribe, hit the bell button. Like I always say, go to Justin and Abby, that's abi.com to find out more about us. You can find us on Instagram, Justin Stumball, Abby Stumball, ABI. And lastly, share, review,
share,
rate, like do those things for us.
That's how you get the word out.
It's so cool. We've been seeing some amazing growth over on our Facebook page. That's so cool. Thank you if you're a person over on Facebook that's participating on our page. And what our hopes is to eventually maybe create a Facebook group where people could go and
find their spouse.
Yeah, like find their significant other, like the Connected Life Peeps maybe is what we're going to call it, and start up a Facebook group where people can like meet and mingle. So.
Oh, meet and mingle.
All right, I'm done.
As always.
Goodbye.